Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Alex Jones. You're listening to Wrestling IQ 101 podcast. The revolution will be televised. They will not cut off our transmission. 1776 will rise again.
Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew alongside Derek. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And today we are sitting with the management team of SWF, the Unbreakable, Fury, Bill Dante. You know, guys, thank you for joining us. How's it going?
Thank you for having us.
Great to be here again, man.
It's like you never left, right?
No, it's like I never left, man.
We're going to make you a part of the team.
I might as well.
Man.
Bro.
You know, first off, guys, congratulations on a huge Mega Slam. You know, packed house. You know, you alluded to it just before we went on that there was some struggles with that show, but you know, I mean, you can't have great success without some struggles, right?
Correct.
So,
Bill?
Yeah, he's right. You can't have a great show like that. I mean, that was the whole show, the whole Mega Slam. I mean, it was 24 hours, 7 days a week. It didn't stop. It didn't stop. You're talking emails and text messages and phone calls. And I mean, I recall one moment we got on the phone at 8:30 in the morning. We didn't get off till after midnight.
1:13 a.m. That's
1:13.
That was. I mean, this was the wee hours of putting that together.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was,
you know, when we first put the concept together to do it,
was that the fortune cookie?
We had a bunch of different ideas, a bunch of ripped up stories, and then it was let's do something that no one's ever done. Let's do an international feel. And you know, it just wound up taking a life of its own. And you know, there was some struggle. I have no problem getting into those things and the people that caused them in a little bit. But at the end of the day, Mega Slam, I don't think. See, the industry, what it was everybody thought the show would tank, and Sid Vicious wouldn't show up, and Ultimo Dragon wouldn't be there. And when the show happened and it went off as it did, I think that it didn't matter what the internal struggles were. What mattered was that the people will never forget what we did, and it's only going to get better from here. Yeah. I'm ready for 19, Mega Slam 19.
Yeah, me too.
yeah. When you announced Ultimo Dragon and Sonny Ono, I was like, wow, I can't believe these guys are actually going to be coming here. Me and Sid Vicious, I was like the little kid in me, like, gleed. I was like, oh my God, I hate you, but you were a big staple of my childhood. I was like, I can't miss this.
Right.
Now, what goes into, like, what's like a difference in putting together a show like Mega Slam from your regular show that you would do on a regular monthly basis?
A lot of planning, several months, if not, better part of half a year to plan it. Mm-hmm. You have an initial idea of what you want to do, who you want to bring in, what you're writing towards to produce the show. Yeah. And then that usually goes right out the window within the first month, and then back to the drawing board, then what talent's available, and you can't get that, so we do this. And then it just, really the idea was, it just started with really wanting to do like an Eric Bischoff, Jerry Lawler, let's do that. And then that just changed. And it just became, you know, he brought up the idea of, hey, why don't we, he was very receptive to the idea of doing something. Well, the conversation started with a phone call. And it was, what do we need to do to put the biggest show on in SWF's history? And I said that we need to do something that's never been done anywhere. And that was my exact words. And I said, you know, it's either going to work or it's not. But no matter what, if we do it, no one will ever forget it. And that will be what separates everything we were and everything we'll be. And that's when it just started really talking. And his people talked to my people. And then we finally talked and we were able to put down and go, okay, well, we want certain aspects of it. And Ron Simmons, who couldn't be there because of emergency. But what goes into it really is a lot of planning, a lot of just sleepless nights, a lot of conversations, a lot of arguing. And we really didn't fight that much, but
No.
just a lot of dealing with agents and people, and then people who really didn't want to know you for a long time. Then they see this, they're like, oh fuck, these guys are the greatest thing ever. Now we want to hang out with them.
Right.
And that's where there's a lot of that shit. And then the internet. The internet was extremely focused on would it fail, would certain guys show up, would they tank, and when none of that happened, nobody had anything to say. So when I do it was just a lot of passion and hard work. Really, nothing comes easy that's worth it. But this was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in 22 years in the business. It was the hardest thing I've ever done to put the show together with him.
Yeah, this was very hard. I mean, from start to finish. And he said it was a lot of conversation, a lot of planning, a lot of talking. I mean, I'm at work on my shoot job during the day, and it's like, all right, I got to kind of like sneak out away and start making phone calls and messages and emails, and it just doesn't stop. You're down there in the shower. Hold on 1 second, put it on mute, run in and take a shower real quick, get back out. You're still on a conference call. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're eating, you put it on mute, you're eating, and you're still on a conference call. It didn't stop. It really, honest to God, didn't. So, it was one day, if you go back into the SWF Facebook, and you'll see it was a piece of paper, and it was marked Mega Slam 2018. That was the beginning of the writing of it. That actually took place it was a spontaneous thing. It's, hey, brother, where you at? I was like, well, I don't know, I'm not doing anything. Let's meet up real quick. And we met up, and this was at a Chinese restaurant, real quick, with just a pen and a paper. While we were eating, we were sitting there trying to figure this out. And, and they say, all right, what's the difference between any other show at Mega Slam? What's the difference between SmackDown and WrestleMania? It's that same thing. Like, you have this something that's so big. You want it to be so big. Larger than life. Sid Vicious and Juventud Guerrero, Ultimo Dragon, Sonny Ono. Super crazy. You want this thing to be so big. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you're going to put in every ounce of effort that you got. And we did. I mean, what a night that was. Regardless if we sold for anything or not, but what a night it was.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. You could feel that. There was energy that night.
It was electric.
It really was. From the moment I walked into that building to the moment I left, I was like, wow, you definitely get your money's worth with SWF. The cards are usually pretty stacked, but, and then on top of that, I mean, when you put this together and you're hearing people say like, oh, so and so won't show up. Do you start doubting that in yourself, or do you believe in yourself enough, or the talent enough that they'll actually come through for you?
Well, let me tell you something. You want to talk about a roller coaster ride, especially someone who has the history of not showing up. Mm-hmm. So, there'll go times where you don't hear nothing, So you got Sid, who's got the history of not showing up. And then, you got him on your show. You need to be able to produce it. And you want to talk about, oh, yeah, he'll be there. Wait a minute. We haven't heard nothing. I don't know if he's not going to be there. Then we've got to watch the convention that he was at. Is he going to be there? Is he not? If he's not there, WrestleCon, he's not going to be here. And so, again, roller coaster ride. It was only a couple days before Mega Slam is where nobody can get touch him.
Wow.
So we were like, you're going into panics. Like, okay, what do we do now?
That was hard. That was one of the things, because we knew that Ron, we found out, I think 24 hours before the show, his daughter had to have surgery. So you lost Ron, which we were honest and told the people, But then, it's like, calling the agents up. Where's Sid?
Oh, man.
And nobody's heard from him in 2 days. And, we had about 6 or 7 conversations with Sid. Sid was fine. Great relationship with Billy. He wanted to come to Jersey, but wanting and doing different things. But until Billy had him secured at that airport, in that car, I'm at the venue. Then it was, he's here. And that was, but there were a lot of things that, and I can't, how can I talk about it without talking about it? There were a lot of things that were mishandled by the agents that represented the talent that was brought in. Super Crazy was brought in by Connor Promotions. Great people, did great business. So he's not in that equation. But I'm talking about Book Pro wrestlers, Charles Rock, Nathan Sterling, those guys Steve Stasiak, those guys went out there, basically were sent out multiple amounts of money and access to $8,000. We think all our talents got deposits and flight booked, which we never, once that's your word, you got it done. None of it's done. So we got to send out extra deposits. Sonny Ono's calling me going, I don't have a deposit. Dragon's not showing up. This is 24 hours, 48 hours for the show. We had to basically honor that times 3 to get these guys here.
Yeah.
Which these guys still haven't made right on top of it. So to go into Mega Slam, to put it together and have to deal with all that and still honor it, we did. And I think every other promoter said I would have pulled out of the fucking show. And it just would have been what it was.
Every single promoter.
Everyone
has said they would have pulled out of the show in the predicament that we were in. They would have pulled out of that show.
But the commitment was to the
brand,
the fans, the marketplace, the roster, everyone like yourselves who believe in it and supported all the work we put in and everything. I says, we're just going to do this. But it was tough. It was tough. It was the unknown.
And credit to the athletes themselves and Sonny Ono and the manager. These guys, they wanted to come still. They just didn't have the means.
Sonny was the
utmost.
Sonny saved the day.
Right, yeah.
Sonny called. I have the voicemail on my phone. Sonny called me 2 days before Mega Slam. It says, I'm trying to find Rob Fury. I go, who's calling? Sonny Ono representing Ultimate Dragon. How you doing? Hey, we don't have a flight and we don't have the deposits. That was sent in March. It's now at the end of April. The show's in 2 days. We had to redo. Billy had to redo. We did redo it all. Get these guys to be here. Sonny, is the ultimate professional. Sonny made sure, and then what everybody believed, because what the agents were telling the boys and the wrestlers were, and the stars were, SWF never sent the money out. Really? Sonny smartened up all the guys going, no, man, I saw the PayPal receipts. This is what really happened. They spent all the money that SWF sent them. They didn't make it back in time. That's why nobody had their flights booked. So we had to go back and rebook everything on our own.
Wow.
Yeah. Including some double deposits.
Double deposits.
For example.
And book hotels the last minute.
Oh, the hotels. You book them a month in advance, it's $150 a night. And I got them at the Marriott next to Newark Airport. So I was making everything so easy for even the bigger stars. And we put them all together next to the airport to get on their flights. They're good. Okay, by the time I had to start booking Sonny's flight, you're talking $250 a night. So, everything, including the hotels went up. The flights went up.
They got you.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. You're talking about legit getting off the phone and running to the bank, making the deposits to transfer into PayPal to send this out. Yeah. And you've got minutes to do it.
It was very tough because, if one thing went wrong, the Mega Slam people saw wouldn't have been the Mega Slam they had. And I didn't. For us, it was, let's live up to what we promised or we won't do it at all. And that was what we wanted. And that's what we did. We protected the integrity of the show at our own cost. But at the bottom line was the show was everything and more I thought it would be. And I think you could say the same thing.
Yeah, me too. SWF Mega Slam 2018 was just larger than life. And it really took everything. It took away from Rob having a personal life and being with his family, worrying about his own health, and it took away from me being with mine, and me worrying about my own health, and then personal life. There was none, and it was one after the other, every day, every night, every day. It was a lot. It really was a lot, and then you got guys like Hoovertoon. Hoovertoon's great. Let me tell you something. Incredible guy, and you send him a deposit. You're supposed to have his promo that Monday. Monday goes by, no promo. Where's the promo? Tuesday, Wednesday. 2 weeks later.
But you don't get the promo because the agents never sent the deposit. They just spent the money.
But the agent said that they did.
For their own use.
Yeah.
Correct.
So Sonny goes in and goes, hey guys, these guys are all right. I saw the PayPal receipts. Yeah. The agents spent all the money they sent them.
Correct.
So we either said, okay, well, fuck, we're out $8,000, there's no show, or let's figure out how we can come up with this to make this work. And we made it work.
Yeah.
Now with big shows like that, like Mega Slam, do you guys have plans in place in case there's things like the talent doesn't show, or is it kind of like you kind of just like play it by ear or just go? With
Had we had time, given 3 weeks to a month, we could put a contingency plan into place. We could do a plan B and make things work. We've done it before, many times, more than these guys. listen, it's the wrestling business. You always change directions no matter what. Anything happens. This time, there was no chance. We're being led on to believe that everything is okay. Yeah. And it was like...
And this wasn't just the basic talent. This was 6 talents they represented. So contingency plans are usually there. Here was the issue with MEGASLAM. Major convention being run by the Nasty Boys up in Detroit. So a lot of the talent we would have went after to replace that, we couldn't get. Because, the Eric Bischoffs, all that, the big talent, NWO, all that stuff was up in Detroit. So we were very limited to the point where if we didn't produce what we wanted to, MEGASLAM would not have happened. It wouldn't have. I think we both had said we won't go out and do it if it's not going to be what it needs to be. Right. But what we promised to produce.
So I got 2 questions. I'll start with the first one. When are you guys going to book wrestling superstar Virgil?
I have to call Chad Minnis and find out how I can get him. I love Virgil. I think Virgil would be great. I'm a huge fan of Virgil, brother. I mean, I think Virgil and the SWF is like cookies and milk. They go right together.
So he's my favorite.
Got to call Chad later. Write a memo. Call Chad. Find out we get Virgil. Get Virgil in. I want Virgil in North Jersey on July 21st with Eugene.
Does the Furious 5, do they need a bodyguard?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, man.
The Furious 5 inches.
Virgil.
Oh, my goodness.
He is the GOAT. And so, last time people saw Casey Navarro, he was...
I fired his ass.
Yeah, he was stretchered out of SWF, and lost his title.
Well, he was fired.
He was fired.
He was fired.
Fired.
And stretched it out.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the same thing. No. Here's the truth. And I'll tell you the truth. I won't work the situation at all. Casey broke in at SWF about 4 years ago. At his first real match here at SWF, really became a household name at SWF. And it just got to he got hurt in Barnegat with massive shoulder injury, needed some time off. And then I just felt business-wise in my end, I mean, maybe I was going through my things, he was going through his, that we weren't talking. And that was the thing. There was no communication. He went on to do what he was doing. That was something that, when you hear the story of him coming into MEGASLAM, that's a great story. Mm-hmm. But so we just didn't talk for a couple of months. It wasn't that he was fired. I was just fucking around. He just wasn't here. We never had a conversation about him not being here or any of it. We just stopped talking, and there really wasn't anything we were doing at that point. We went a different direction with Jordan to really, excel Jordan in that role. And then it's the night before MEGASLAM, and I'm sitting down. That's probably 2 a.m. Can't sleep. Looking at the show. Need something. And it's funny, and he'll tell you the story. I sent him a Facebook emoji of a poodle. I didn't talk to him in 4 or 5 months. And he just says, "What's up? How you doing, Rob?" I said, "I'm doing good." And he says, "I'd like you to be there tomorrow." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Where?" I said, "You know where, MEGASLAM." But nobody knew. Billy knew. I told Chad Minnis he knew. KC knew. The guys in the match didn't know until he showed up. It was probably the best kept surprise we ever kept, as far as to the fans and to the general roster. But him coming back in was awesome, because everyone said it's never going to work. No one's going to remember. And my thing was, it actually worked out great, because KC left, became a different character from Kid Christian to KC Navarro, and it worked. And when he came back in, it was a huge reception. And now he's back in one of the top positions in the company, and he worked hard for it. So he deserves to be here. And, sometimes I just go nuts. That's what happens. The guys will tell you that if you ask him. Rob don't talk to anybody, flips out.
Now, for you, what keeps you going? Because I'm like, Rob is a crazy dude, man.
Oh, God.
I'm waiting for you to give like a long Facebook post one day and say, "Hey, I'm calling it quits." But like, what just keeps you going? You're gonna die never.
No, 76.
He's never gonna stop.
I'll tell you, once me and Billy signed to do the Underdogs movie, with Marcus Reyes at Visual Media, and we didn't sign to do it initially, and then we found out there was a monetary payment attached to it. That was a little bit of me going, okay, well now, if we're gonna go hard now.
Yeah.
Money's great, so you want to make money if it's sold to Netflix and all that stuff. That's a great thing, but money's not what keeps me going. What keeps me going is the fact that December coming up, I'll be 40 years old, and it's like I've been in this business since I'm 18. 16, I started training. 18 was my first match. So, what keeps me going is here's the truth. I have no idea. I have this mentality though that when I'm still out there, I feel like I know I could work around my injuries, and if I could still perform to the point where I feel like I can, I'll still keep going. If I ever get to that point where it's like, all right, fuck, now it's, your bumps ain't quick enough. You're not getting up quick enough. You're not able to work to the level of even hanging with the younger guys. And not that I'm old, but in the wrestling industry, 40's like, you feel like you're 70. I wake up every day, all banged up. I've had 124 as of next week procedures on my spine, 3 back surgery. I need knee surgery, 2 discs in my neck broken, a mega slam. What keeps me going, I know everyone's expecting this long-winded, it's been a great run and it's time to hang it up. Never going to happen. There's 2 things that are going to happen, brother. It's either going to be, I don't want to die in the ring, but it's guys like me, we either just, and this, maybe you could use it as a soundbite one day if it ever happens. Guys like me either never stop and we just keep going until we get to the point of success we want, or we just die. It's one or the other. So I don't plan on dying, and I just love the industry. I love what we do. And if I don't get out there and work, I feel like, you can't lead by example if you're not out there putting that same effort in. Plus, I still got some stuff I want to do. Like, there's a lot of guys I want to work with that I haven't gotten to yet. I don't have more fun now as a heel than I've ever had.
Yeah. You talked about the best kept secret being Casey Navarro, but you also kept Chris Banks under wraps too. I mean, how was it, keeping that secret?
Well, me and Banks didn't talk for a year. Really, I mean, we just had a lot of personal stuff and business stuff. We just didn't talk for a very long time. And then it was about 2 weeks before the SWF 100 show in Toto. I called him and I just asked him, if he had interest in doing the show, because I felt like he belonged to be here as one of the guys who helped build the brand. And we started to talk, and the initial plans were never a Furious 5. It was never to do any of that as far as me being a heel. It was going to be, we'll finally get to me and Banks, or we'll finally do that. And then they ribbed me. That's what it was. I did the turn on Grim, and had sex with your wife. That your kids are mine. That whole deal. But the truth is, when that happened, and when I turned on him, those guys, to break kayfabe, those guys, the angle was they would hit the ring and attack me. When they saw me turn heel on Grim, here comes Preston Montgomery and Banks. They walk to the ring and hug me. I had no idea.
Wow.
And then it's like, well, I guess I'm a heel now. But it was something that was just so quiet that Banks, to protect the integrity of what we were going to do, Banks was hidden in a car for 4 hours before the show even started, so no one would see him under a mask to get into that building to do that. Nobody knew. We kept it completely, you knew, I knew, none of the guys knew.
Nobody else.
And when he walked in, man, it was like, fuck, what? They didn't know if he was there, for us to settle differences, but no, everything's, been really good, and that could explode any second, but it's really good. He's a great professional. He's great, and then, I'm proud to work with those guys. I really am.
Nice. Now, something that's kind of interesting, what you were talking about earlier about how you guys gave the money to the agents, and they spent the money and they weren't able to do what they needed to do on their ends. So how hard is that for you guys when there's all these guys, they always want to look at, the negative of SWF and all this stuff, and, how rumors have started and everything, when basically, you guys are doing the right thing, and then, there's other guys that are kind of undercutting you guys, and, how hard is it just to navigate around like stuff like that?
Well, I'll let Billy take it, but there's companies out there running festivals that make a lot of money and don't pay a soul. There's companies out there that religiously will run shows and not pay their wrestlers to anything. We pay everybody. We live up to that, whether we make money or don't make money. It's an entrepreneur business, a profit and loss business. But I'll let you take that one, man, because I've been fighting this battle for years. So it's on you, brother. Hot tag.
I mean, to answer your question.
And you came in with the quickest education, and you got to see for yourself all the shit that was said.
Yeah, we were actually talking about it earlier today, too, because I said, we brought up a memory from when I first came around. I'm like, dude, all the things that were being said about you and the SWF, I don't see it, And there was a lot of things being said about the SWF and Rob Fury, Again, it's all rumors. It's all, I could tell you something, you tell him something that changes. He tells somebody else it changes a little bit more. And it's not the truth, And I'm glad that a lot of it has went away. And, it shows the hard work that we have put in here and how hard we did to change the company around and to give that platform to a place where, these guys want to be here. And that's humble, bro. We appreciate that. We really do. And it's thankful, But, again, it's all rumors. It's all bullshit. And then there's got to be certain parts where it's jealousy. I mean, for a prime example, speaking of a company that works festivals and don't pay their guys, listen, right over the bridge, they take ideas of ours and use it at their own shows,
A lot of people hear things creatively that we're looking to do in the locker room. That's why I don't talk about it anymore. Yeah, you'll hear something creatively, hey, we might want to do this, and then a week later you see it at an independent show running in Jersey, and you're like, fuck, we just talked about doing that. Yeah. And it just comes from guys in the locker room just doing what they want to do. But, we'll just always come up with new ideas and stuff. And people ask about the writing for this weekend shows. I think 30% of it's written. A lot of it's usually done when I get there or what we're gearing towards. It's different.
Yeah, we'll have conversations back and forth. Nobody, like you said, the well-kept surprises, Casey Navarro, Chris Spencer. Yeah, we knew. We was talking, but we're not going to tell everybody else. Just watch.
Yeah. And then, Billy, how has the transition been for you? Because you started off as a fan, right? And then you became talent, and now you're co-owner. How's it been for you?
How did you meet me? It's a good question. I don't even know. How did you? I don't remember. I'm just curious.
This is the real truth. This is shoot. Back in '99, I say '99. My ex-wife was a valet, Poison.
Yeah.
She worked for Frank, JPW.
You might feel a little prick.
What? I just signed. Yeah. So she was Nick Burke's valet. So I was going to the shows. Shit, Bingo down in Philly, or when they were wrestling in Bayonne, Club Benet, if you remember that. So it's great to see this. I've always loved wrestling, even as a kid. So that's why she's my ex. Things happen, but. My kid, Nicholas, he's 8. He loves wrestling. Loves it. So we started going to shows, one after the other. And then I got a phone number for this guy over here on Kennedy weekend. And, I've never seen Kennedy live.
He's referring to Avenel, New Jersey.
Avenel, yeah.
Mr. Kennedy double shot weekend that we were doing in 2016. It's back.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah. So I called him up. And he's like, just meet me in Avenel, brother. For the Kim Goodell special.
Yeah, I wasn't interested in the PayPals and the Eventbrites at that point. I just would like to go out. And, if I'm in Jersey, I'll just come out. You want to buy tickets, I'll meet you. And then
that's what we did.
Not be Rob Fury. Hey, how are you?
And I expected the cash tickets. I'm on my way. 2 hours later, we're still sitting there talking. We're just about the business of wrestling and blah, 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 experiences and things like that. And ended up being a real good conversation. And it just started going, he would message me, hey, brother, you want to come to the show? Hey, brother, come to this show. And then little by little, it was in the crowd, see, who has tickets, whatnot. And I'm helping out and I'm taking pictures. I'm videoing things. And, it just slowly progressed into it. And then there was an idea for me being a manager. It was given to another company. And the other company...
UWA didn't want it.
They didn't want it.
I don't have to pussyfoot it. They didn't want it.
They turned around and said it would take away from the fans, which Okay, you know, they would take away from the fans. They didn't want anybody in the back like that. All right, no problem. No heat. I pitched it to Rob. Rob, listen. They said, UWA said no, and Justin, you know, for me to be Clay Sawyer's manager, he goes, play the drunk Uncle Cletus. You know? It worked. I went out there. I did my first manager. Actually, with
it was funny because it was like when he came when we first met. It was just really it clicked. Not to sound like we're on a love connection episode, but it just clicked and it started to work. And we just, you know, for me it was, you know, my thing was when I broke into the business, I was thrown right into the fire. You know, it was like, here's 2 matches, then you're working with Demolition, then you're in Bundy, here's Beefcake, I was just getting my ass kicked everywhere. So the first thing I had him do was work with New Jack.
Yeah. You want to talk about it?
I mean, you know, you're booked and you're working with New Jack.
Yeah, I'm going out. I'm there before the curtain. I got New Jack standing right here, Clay standing right here, and Luke Finn is over here.
And that's like his first thing ever.
And I'm ready to hyperventilate. I'm like, man, I never did this before, you know? And it was one experience. Like, looking back at it now, it's like cool as shit.
Well, to go from the manager to being the how did you wind up as what made me make you the co-owner? I don't even know.
What the hell I did you made? Yeah, it was the janitorial services.
I don't even know how the hell you wound up.
I was doing toilet bowls. I was putting in new.
How did you wind up as the co-owner?
I have no idea.
Who hired this guy?
I'm a moron. So then more and more that I'm learning, and again, going back to the quickest education, you know, and it's I'm learning. It's just constantly building. Then it was like, all right, well, let's try this venue. Let's try to outsource SWL. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's go here, you know. And then it was like, all right, cool. We were able to get a little more things like the ring and the trailer and
the ring that worked out,
right? You know, so we're starting to build it. And then at that point, you know, I became like vice president or something like that. And finally, it was just talked about. He was like, brother, you know, it's partnership, and you know, I couldn't never do this without him. He said he couldn't do this without me, and it was like, all right, you know what? That's it. SWF, Bill Fetzke, not Bill Dante, but Bill Fetzke and Rob Fury. That's it.
When we, you know, it's like how I said it today. I said, you know, it's like in the sense of the company got really, really well known really quick. And the first like 5 years, even 4 years, it wasn't the amount of shows. You know, doing 6 shows a year, I could do that. But when you're doing 30 or 40, 45, then it's like, you know, you got to have a strong co-owner that kind of thinks the way you're thinking and you kind of just gel with. So that's really where it works. But it's
and it works. I mean,
I've told him to go fuck himself.
Yeah, I've done it too. And the funniest thing, I'll give you a little story about the
this is a real story. You'll love this. Nobody's ever heard this.
Nobody's ever heard this. So this is right after the Parlin and
Little League, baby.
Little League hit a hit weekend. Right after it. And I don't know if you know.
Thanksgiving was coming back.
Yeah. And Ginny, Charlie, well, you know, you didn't market Parlin hard enough, and I'm getting a whole fucking lecture like I'm a jerk off, right? And I'm like,
that was a Tremont Chenzo show, and the follow-up show was the next night with Adam Rose, Val Venus, and who the hell else was
on? Adam Rose, Val Venus, and
Al Snow.
So I'm getting a lecture from Charlie, like, you know, yeah, all right, Charlie, this is my first day. How am I doing? You know, and it's like, all right. So now I'm already revved up. I'm already fired up, aggravated. Now Rob calls me. It's like, he's just trying to have a conversation with me, but I'm all fired up. So finally, I just fucking lost it. I lost it on the phone. We're going back and forth, and I finally was like, you know what? He was like, well, you know what? Stay the fuck home. I'll run it myself. Well, good. Do yourself. Click, and I hung up the fucking phone. 2 seconds later, get a phone call back. You want to hang up on me? Now I'm going to hang up on you. And
that's I just called back to say that.
I'm livid now. Now I'm in the car. I'm punching the dashboard. I'm trying to rip the steering wheel off. Like I'm, you know.
2 days later, I just sent him a text. Happy Thanksgiving. And everything was fine. Everything was fine. Like, we don't really argue. It's just you know, we have a common goal. It's to put great stuff on. That's really it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if we do, it's really, at the end of the day, it's just funny. Like, he don't take nothing to social media. Like, I don't take nothing to social media. That's kid shit. You know what I'm saying? If there's an argument, we have a problem, and we're on the phone. It's me and him. We handle what we got to handle, and that's it. And it's the God's honest truth. But the show goes on. We're both sitting here. We're both sitting here together. It doesn't make a difference, you know.
Now, looking back on your experience on how you came in, is there anything that you would change, and also what advice would you give to someone else that's trying to get?
Don't use book wrestlers.
Yeah, don't use them. Let me tell you, brother. Anything I would change? Nah, because if I did change anything, I wouldn't have got the knowledge that I have.
Gotcha.
So no, I wouldn't change anything. And the advice that I would give to somebody is, hey, you know, I want to get into the business. You know what? Open up your eyes, shut your mouth, listen, observe everything that's around you. Listen to the veterans. As much as character-wise, Billy Dante hates Preston Montgomery. But let me tell you something. Preston Montgomery is a very big part of what Uncle Cletus was. To the point where I could just follow Preston's eyes and know what he's thinking. You know, and I didn't know that at first. You know, and now I could just follow his eyes. You know, and there's a lot of people that help with that. You know, the referees and you know, Clay and James and of course Robin. There's a lot, you know, but I would just say just keep your eyes open, observe. You know.
Yeah. You know, you talked about Chad earlier. You know, what does he mean to you? Because he was a big part of Mega Slam last year. You know,
It's a big part of it this year. Nobody knew it.
Too.
Nobody knew it.
Yeah.
I'll let you answer your question.
I mean, you guys have had a friendship that kind of bloomed. You know, you kind of, come promos, shows together and stuff like that. So, I mean, what does Chad mean to the SWF, and what does he mean to you personally, or you?
I'll let you take that first, Billy.
Yeah,
I have to think about it. What do you feel about Chad Menace?
Chad's got a Tundra and a trailer, brother. We're like two peas in a pod. Okay? Listen, you can't go wrong with that. 2 Tundras and a trailer. No, I love Chad, seriously. Honest to God, I wish nothing but the best for him. Absolutely. I don't have it as personal with Chad as Rob does, but, I'm sitting down, even Mega Slam, we were sitting down talking for a little while, and, it's relieving to get the conversation with somebody that knows exactly what you're going through, and you can just bounce ideas and everything else, and he's a great dude. It really is. Like, I have nothing really bad to say at all,
I mean, genuinely, I think, me and Chad came into the organization late 2016 into spring 2017 until he wanted to branch out and do some other stuff. He promoted SWF in Atlantic City. With my blessing, went out, did that, was really successful. Genuine dude. Like Chad, I talk to Chad every day. Like I talk to him as much as, not as much as I talk to Bill. I talk to him today. Most of the time I send him a bunch of vile memes on Facebook of, some pig, like a giant pig banging out some dude. He'll tell you that, which goes into like, there's other things and the projects we're working on together. But Chad is someone, Chad is like, sometimes I'll send Billy out a booking sheet and then I'll just randomly send it to Chad. And most people wouldn't do that. They'd go, why would you send out something you're doing to a competitor? But we don't look at it that way. Because at the end of the day, like we have a mutual respect. There's a friendship. It's a brotherhood. And he's just, he took a chance on SWF and in his time here, in which, a lot of people wouldn't have, the same way Billy did, in a different way. And what Chad is probably the one guy in the industry. When you look at the current SWF team that we have, that would be a welcome addition to have a return if he chose to do so.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
He's a great guy, and a lot of what he's doing with standalone, like he stole my catchphrase with the biggest thing to hit Atlantic City since WrestleMania. He stole that. So, but he's just awesome. I mean, we get along great, and we're doing this podcast together now called The Vile Animals. It's going to come out, and it's going to be about a lot of sex, drugs, rock and roll, and road stories and things that you'd never hear. We're going to probably make it 2 episodes and get thrown off, but it's going to be wild. Wild.
When you talk about the new podcast, what platform are you looking to put it on?
I have no idea. This was him texting me one day, calling me, going, "Hey, that's his voice. How do you feel about doing a podcast?" I said, "Well, what?" Podcast. All right, what do you want to do, brother? I want to do something, tell the stories of what really goes on. I can't tell those stories. Now you can tell them. It just, next thing I know, there was a Wild Animals Facebook page, and then, it's
a donkey.
Now there's a big animal on it, and then, I'll send him it just started. It's just because we always had that thing, like, where I went out, like, he left the ring buckles at a place in Queens that I had to go pick him up one day, and I sent him a text. This is after he had left, and I said, man, if we were ever here on a Friday night, neither one of us would come home ever. And that's how it really started. You're a wild bastard. And then it just became like, I think it'll be a lot of fun. Like, I can't wait to do it. I've never done it, but I hope it lasts. But I love him, man. He's a great dude. Standalone Wrestling's doing great things with that AC thing. We'll be there. I'm coming up to it. I'm excited about it. And, never say never in the business.
Yeah, never say never.
Chad's definitely, he's a very innovative guy.
And he's got a lot of hair.
I mean, yeah.
A lot of hair. Oh,
he's
boy.
a very innovative guy.
He's great, man.
He actually he has a good mind for like.
And I'm not just sucking him off because we're here. Like I've told him how much I appreciate what he's done. He knows. Billy's told him too. Like, there's things that a lot of people don't know. Like Mega Slam 2018. Here's Chad helps us with certain things we needed, like extra guardrails, and we needed guardrails. Chad made sure they were there. Chad didn't have to do that. Chad helped us with vendoring things. Not money. I'm talking. Chad helped us with coming in and going and, assisting us with autograph lines and things he didn't have to do. He could have just came. So for us to open the door to Standalone to promote that stuff and for us to go there, it's great. And that's the only guy, I think, in the history of the company that would be welcomed back with open arms because he did nothing but contribute positive things. Would you agree, Bill?
I agree, totally.
Now, you talked about Standalone Wrestling. There's going to be a lot of different people there, a lot of different promotions. I mean, you could be in the crossfire of enemy lines if you walk.
Well, they got to work. For Jesus, for the rest of
SWF don't need no drama. Just
I mean, you can just put the logo up. I don't have to be there. They'll probably throw it down. They'll probably burn it down. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't really like us. But fuck them. We're not here to please them. I'm here to please the people and the fan base and the roster. But there's a lot of companies out there. I know they're going to be there, and I haven't seen some of those guys in a long time. Excited about it.
Are you looking to maybe mend some of those bridges?
No.
Or no?
Not at all. I have some of them really aren't broken. I mean, the ones that have there's certain people out there that have never met me. The guys in Staten Island. I can talk. I don't give a fuck. Warriors of Wrestling. I'll say that. They never met me. The guys running it never met me. They've never met me once, but hate my guts. Never met me. Never been in the same room. But I wish them nothing but success. I don't even, I'm not selling for it by talking about it. I'm just saying, hey, here's the facts. The facts are they never met me. They don't like me. I don't know why, because we've done successful shows. But that's their thing. That's cool, but they'll stay their direction. I'll stay mine. I don't think it'll be that way. I mean, I don't even know who else is there. Who else is at the show?
I mean, you got GCW.
That's
CCW,
cool. Well, that's
WrestlePro will be there.
WrestlePro's all right. I
think Synergy's going to be there.
Who's Synergy? Do I know those guys?
Mandel.
That's Danny Chris. Danny's a good dude. Yeah, Danny started as a vendor for SWF. Vendor of talent. Danny's cool. I like Danny and Heather. They're good people. Who else is there? Synergy's what? Colin? Is that Colin?
Yeah.
Colin's all right. I haven't seen him in a while. He did accuse me of robbing a cancer charity once and apologized and said he was wrong. But that's all under the bridge. He's fine. Who else do we got?
I mean, you got a whole host of legends, too, that are going to be there.
WrestlePro, you mentioned them, right?
Yeah.
They're there. It's funny. I just talked to Dan Moff today. As we were, this afternoon, me and Dan talked for the first time in a long time. And then the funny thing about that, and he's probably tuned into this, we're just talking old school wrestling. We're talking working out, training in the gym. We're talking about the potential of Dan Moff and SWF. So we talked a lot about that, and we'd like to see if that happens. I don't have any. WrestlePro's great. I have nothing, with them. Those guys have done a great job of doing what they do, and that's larger than life. And really, I mean, they've dominated a market out here that's great. It's close enough to Manhattan and the city to do something great. I think they're doing really well. And nothing but respect to those guys, Pat Buck, Kurt Hawkins, Moff, Matthews, all those guys. I mean, I have no heat with them. I'd love to see them at beatdown. Maybe I don't know if they want to see me, but I'd love to see them.
Now with the market being so saturated, how do you keep SWF relevant in all this?
That's tough.
Every city there's a wrestling company. So how does SWF stay relevant?
Well, if I told you all the secrets, we'd be out of business. But how do we stay relevant? We put a lot of VIGs on things. No, what we really do to stay relevant is we have thank God we've been blessed with a fan base that won't leave us, man. Yeah. Thank God. But really it's keeping the people in of you never know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And sometimes those storylines could be written 4 minutes before they happen. Because I might have, or he might have something, and we're going to go do this, and next thing you know, it's changed right there. And I think it's that. It's the fact that they know they're going to get that intense experience, but the SWF now is such a different product than what it was. It caters to, it hits every demographic from entertainment to the old school to what's new school, new generation, old generation, the legends, the international stars. It's a whole different, it's just everything now. It's just the whole thing. So I think that what really keeps it, you got to keep it fresh. We'll use different talent. We'll switch it up a little bit. We'll switch things up. But I think to stay relevant, that's really that. What do you think, Lil?
You're a maniac. No, I'm just calling.
I'm a maniac.
Yeah,
that's why we're relevant.
You're a fucking maniac.
Well, he actually did say that in a meeting.
Yes. Yeah,
I don't stop. What does that mean?
I'm talking in a good way.
No, here we go. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to shut up. Dead.
Listen, I'm talking in a good way. Because somebody like myself, you understand, I've got the 2 jobs and with, the kids and everything else. So I'm not easily accessible to, advertising and everything else. But he takes that time and he just puts it out there. So, yeah, Rob is 24/7, If he does sleep, it's wake up, start posting. If he does eat, it's as soon as you put the fork down and starts posting. So he just doesn't stop. And that part, SWF, the brand itself owes a lot to him because the marketing of Rob Fury, is it's crazy. It really is. It's a lot. So yeah, that keeps SWF completely.
And there's times I'm burnt the fuck out. I was like, hey, brother, we're really doing 3 in July. And he's like, and I was thinking, maybe we shouldn't. And yesterday he texted me, what are you talking about? Got to do July. We got Eugene coming in. We got this coming in. We got to do July. Mm-hmm. All right, brother, we're doing July. And that was it. And then we're talking on the way here. We had 1 for September. And they're like, we're going to do 3.
Wow.
So it's just, and then November's huge and 2 gigantic shows. It's just it just doesn't stop. I feel like the machine never stopped. That's because we're close personal friends and it's just, and I, in the sense when he first came in, it was like, he was really thrown to the sharks, man. From the guys he worked with to the guys tested him to what he really had to learn real quick. And he's done great at it, man, I'm just going to stay home from now on. Just collect half of the money we make and just, come wrestle once a year. Brother, just do your thing.
That's it, Randy the Ram.
Randy the Ram.
It's incredible, where you guys have started to where you are now.
And he was there when I almost broke my neck. Yes. Mega Slam, he was there.
Yes.
What towns or cities that you want to invade that you haven't yet?
I like that word.
Brother.
You never know. There's a lot on the agenda. I won't get into it too much, but definitely New York. Everybody's asked me for years when. It's just the timing. Philadelphia, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Florida, Tampa, Clearwater Beach. It is up to me, right? It's up to us. But if we can get us to the position of doing I would like to be on the road every weekend. For me, if we could travel place to place, town to town, and I can get these guys on a payroll, and where they wouldn't have to work anywhere else, that would be great. Because I never had that. I'm the only guy in the roster that's not on the paid roster, which is the funny thing. Even on the so here's a roster of guys getting paid. Rob Fury has a 0 next to him. It's like being the president of the United States doesn't pay for himself. I'm just not on the But that's another thing. It's. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about, but you get what I was saying, right, brother?
Yeah, I get it. You never know where SWF's going.
A lot of places. I would like to really just get involved with a lot of other stuff too, like just animal cruelty stuff and fundraisers for that, to get involved with that. And I love doing stuff with the sick kids. The business is giving me memories money can't buy, and I think all that stuff will pay off.
Nice. Now, have you where are you like looking for talent, or like how do you get talent? That's an even better question.
Casting couch, a lot of women.
Our
Are you
email.
talking personal life, brother? You talking
I don't
no?
want to meet you.
For us, it's it's a lot. I get I get so many emails.
Yeah.
That's why I was trying to text me, man, because we get
Emails
so
and
much on
Facebook
SWF
Messenger.
Live. Twitter's got 700 messages of resumes, and I hate resumes. Just send me like a clip. A lot of the times, the guys that are around will go, "Hey, take a look at this guy." When Kurt Hawkins, before he got signed back with WWE, he was sending me a lot of the students from Creative Pro, which does a great job training. You know, Pat Buck and those guys. So we would work those guys in. I think Grimm's got some talented guys that just haven't had the chance to really, maybe get a lot of that training properly to learn certain things. Some of it, but Chris Banks has been a huge asset with bringing guys in like Jay George, Joey Hayes, Jeter. He seeked out guys like Dillinger to bring in. So there's a lot. I mean, there's new talent coming in too. I'm always looking. I want to really also revamp the women's division. That's another thing because I think we need it. But I don't want I don't know if I could say that.
No, don't say that.
You know what I mean, brother.
76.
I could say anything, and then that wouldn't be good.
No,
I just wanted to be a really respectable women's division. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, you did that at Megaslam.
We tried initially. The initial idea was to do it, and then it just didn't work the way we wanted it. Now I think as we get to 2019, we'll revamp it and do something with it that's different, with a lot of different talent.
What's one misconception that you cleared up, either to the wrestlers or to the fan base that was kind of holding you down? You feel like
if you want to take this one first, I have
Misconception?
my answer is really simple. Proof to the fact that we are a premier organization in New Jersey and nobody runs harder and stronger than us at this point. Prove that by just the consistency, the longevity, being able to survive. Most companies can't make 2 shows for 7 years. Next month is 7 years. No, what is next month? August? What month are we in now? Where the hell we are? Okay, so December will be around 7 years. So to do 7 years of that, but I think it's the fact that we basically said this is a premier organization, and you can see the top guys here and some of the newer guys, and that was the biggest misconception, is that the SWF wasn't the real deal. You wouldn't get your money's worth, and I've never heard that. That was it, and the people going, oh yeah, they're not really running the greatest shows. They're not putting people in buildings. Man, let them find another company, goes out there the first month of the year, runs 3 shows back to back within 10 days, sells out every single one of them.
Yeah.
Then does Mega Slam, quadruples that number. Then comes out and does the Jersey Shore this week, and we'll see how that does. I mean, to me, it's just the machine never stops. But the biggest misconception is that people that just believe that, hey, it's, we don't produce what we say, which is absolutely not true. And our integrity, they say we have no integrity, but that's not true either. You can see we blatantly do have integrity.
Now, with your new heel turn that you had recently, Furious 5, what do you enjoy more? Are you enjoying being a heel now, or would you like being a face better?
It's so weird because I didn't expect to ever do it.
Yeah.
And then it just happened. But I enjoy it because it's a different version of it. I can paint half my face now, which makes the cleanup quicker.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it because I get to really just, the heel leads the match. And most of the time, no matter what, even if I wasn't the heel, I'd lead what I wanted to do anyway. It was the vet card type deal. Like, hey, we're going to do this. None of that's happened. Let's do this, this, and this. But I'm having a lot of fun with it, working with Preston, working with those guys, working with him, and just being able to do stuff I've never got to do. So, babyface Rob Fury could never wrestle Kid Christian. Not, that would be a different style of match, or couldn't do an angle with him, or couldn't, get out there and do certain things. Now, I can just be just this vile fucking animal and just go out there, just say whatever I want and do what I want. But it was never supposed to happen. It was a rib. It was just those guys coming out going, I figured when we did the term with Grimm, I hate to give too much up, but I figured when we did it, it would be split. And in Bayville, it was split when we did Mega Slam. But when that turn first happened, it wasn't. And these guys come out and hug me. I don't know. I'm like, what the fuck Nice hugging me for it. You're part of us now. I said, all right, just give me a mic. We're going to go with it. And then it worked. It gives me an opportunity to, because I'm angry about a lot of things a lot of times during the day. So this gives me an opportunity to really just be that. But I can never be mean to the kids. That makes me, I can't do it. And I'll never be out and go, I'm not the heel that'll go out and say, well, I did say I was somebody's father and did say that I slept with their wife. But I won't be the guy that goes, tells the kids they're ugly or I won't do that. Like, there's a way to be a heel and get over, and there's another way to be a heel and just, just be a jerk off and make fun of sick kids. That I'll never do. Like, there's a certain line. But now it's weird because I don't know. It's like I love it. I'm having a great time with it.
And the kids always kind of gravitate towards you. You got the face paint.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. I'm having a good time with it, man.
When you first did it, did you worry about maybe, children or some of the fans that really liked and supported you? Like,
yeah,
it's not getting behind you.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, when you get 700 messages in one day, when you go on social media and go, when you tuck your kid in at night, Grim, don't you realize they look it like me?
Oh my God.
Your wife sneaks out to be with Rob Fury to feel what Unbreakable's all about. My Twitter notifications, you son of a bitch, we're gonna kill you, motherfucker. They're going crazy. When that first happened, I'm going, oh my God, this is terrible. Yeah. I didn't know how I'm ever going to get out of this. Yeah. And Grim, to Grim's credit, to break the barrier behind that, curtain was, Grim didn't know I was going to go that far.
I mean, looking back at it now, when he jumped off that, that turnbuckle onto the ladder, do you feel like a little bit of that was a little bit of a karma for saying that you slept with his wife after his kid? No.
That was the worst.
I mean,
man, I've been hit with stop signs. I've been shot in real life, stabbed. I've broken 2 ribs, 4 back, 3 birth surgeries, 123 procedures on my back, a ripped up knee, 2 discs in my neck. That bump, that one on that steel ladder on the guardrail to the floor, 20 feet in the air, was the worst thing I ever felt in my life. I've been in car accidents that were better than that. God's honest truth.
I mean, because you were talking about his kids and his wife. You didn't think one
second.
No.
And he just, maybe people ask, well, is it going to have one more match? And it's going to happen? Well, who knows? That's it. I mean, but it really was. It was a hell of a match. I mean, I that was the first time I was really able to go out and do that. Like, just be that guy. It was fun.
People crap on him all the time. For being the toy collector, being the backyard wrestler. If the opportunity does come, would you get back in the ring with Grim? In
defense of Grim, okay, the real guy is such a real good family man, takes care of his family. He's catered to a market with GTS Wrestling on YouTube that has over 1 million subscribers. His Twitter's amazing. As a professional, as a wrestler, as a guy who's been in this industry, I paid my dues. I got beat up by everybody for 2 years before I even stepped foot in the ring. Grim went out there with me at Mega Slam in a match that everyone said would be bullshit for 8 minutes and nothing would happen. To his credit, the man surprised me in the sense of how far he took it once he saw how far I took it. When I get back in the ring with him, 100%, because it wasn't something where it was this whole giant scripted thing. It wasn't any of that. All I knew was, hey, we're just going to go out there. That ladder, that finish, all of that, everything was called on that. It was out there was when we figured all that out. And that's what made it special, is because people, I guess, figured it's not going to be much. But they don't look back at the match. They just remember that whole thing at the end. I remember it. My back remembers it. My neck, my ass, my hips, every part of my body remembers it.
Yeah. Now, going back, how did you guys start the partnership with GTS and SWS?
Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins brought me Grim in 2015 or something like that and said, you got to talk to this guy Grim. He's really great. He wants to get involved with SWF. I didn't know he was. Mm-hmm. I met him. It was instant. Yeah. And then Kurt Hawkins wanted to wrestle him at SWF, which we did. And then when Brian got signed back with WWE, it just wound up working with Grim and just being able to keep him around. And he really contributes to the brand. He's one of the guys. Like, anybody thinks he's not, Grim is one of the roster guys. I mean, at the end of the day, Grim could go out there. He can, like you said, I wasn't at this stage of the game with all my injuries. If I didn't feel Grim would go out there and work with me, I wouldn't have done it.
Sure.
Now, and I trusted the guy to jump 20 feet off the damn top rope to a steel ladder. I'm still here, parts of me at least, but it worked. So I mean, he's a professional. Anybody who shits on him don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I like Grim myself. I mean, he's always been very polite to me.
And there might be a round 2, 3, 4, 5. Who knows? I'm ready. I mean, I'll do it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should we do it?
Yeah. You should.
So, guys, thank you so much for taking out the time to talk with us.
Thank you.
Where can people get you guys on social media if they want to connect?
With him, you can get. You're at. Wait a second. I got your new site.
Oh my God.
Don't start you. You can get me at Billy Dante on Facebook or Billy Dante on Twitter.
I thought it was ramrods.com. You can get
Probably Bang Bus, brother.
You can get me at you can get Rob Fury on Facebook, Real Rob Fury on Instagram, and what the hell is and Real Rob Fury Twitter. See that? I got it all as Real Rob.
There's a fake Rob Fury?
There's a fake. There's a couple of fake ones. We're gonna sue them though. Probably. We own the trademarks. But everything is great. I mean, I'm really looking forward to what's coming up in the future with the company where we're going.
Me too. I'm excited.
Definitely.
And that's one thing I never was able to become a wrestler. And because of my knee, my right knee. I had a chainsaw ripped through it.
Oh man.
So it'll, that's something what they do is I'll never be able to ever do. But what I've learned so far about the business and being a part of the business and being around this guy here, I love the business. I really do. Drives me nuts. But it's a passion. It's in your blood. But you never know SWF. It's always a mystery. You never know.
And guys, for us, we are Wrestling IQ 101.
That's not a mystery.
No, it's not.
You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. You can listen to us right here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and also on the B Plus Player Network with Mark and Haggerty. And thank you guys for taking out the time. And best of luck in the future.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
And we'll see you guys soon.
You have just listened to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast, powered by B Plus Player Radio.